Hello friends, today we are going to complete the remaining part in elements of functions. Now you are familiar with function declaration from last video. I hope you had practiced function declaration by your own. Today we will see function definition first and then function calling in the same video. So let's start with function definition. As I said earlier, function definition is the area where we write all the statements which has to be executed when a function is called. We know main is also a function and we write statements in it. So these are the function definition. The only difference is that main function is called by itself when a program executes. Flow comes to the main function first, and then from main function you can call other function to transfer the flow. Let's see how to define a function. So the syntax to define a function is like first we have to write return, then return type, then function name, and in brackets you have to write the arguments, then the curly brackets, and here you will write the statement 1, then statement 2, and then the statement n. Here we again have 4 elements of function definition, and the 4 elements are the return type, then function name, then we have the arguments list, and then we have statements. Here we know about return type, function name, and argument list from the function declaration. Here you might have noticed that we do not put terminated semicolon at the end, and in the curly brackets you have to write the statements that you want to execute on function calling. For example, you can write like void, then sum, then int a comma int b, and then the curly brackets, and here you can write int sum, then sum is equals to a plus b. These are my few statements. So when you are writing arguments list, I'm talking about this part. So when you are writing argument list, you must have to write variable names along with their data types. Unlike function declaration, writing only data types will not work here. One more thing that I would like to tell you here is that function declaration is not compulsory in one case only. Instead of writing function declaration, if you write function definition right after the header files, then it will also work. And if you are not writing function definition after header files, then you must have to write function declaration and function definition both. Now let's quickly learn about function calling, and then we will create a program where we will use these 3 elements. So function calling is used to call a function. When a function is called, the flow will transfer to the function definition, and when the function definition is terminated, then the flow will come back to the section from where it has been called. So you don't have to write return type to call a function, you simply have to write like function name, and then in brackets you will write the argument list and a semicolon, and you can call any function from anywhere of your program. Now let's write a program to calculate sum of 2 values given by user using function. So let's start. Before starting my program, I need to write the header file, so I write #include, then stdio dot h, then hash include conio.h. Okay, right after the header files you have to write the function declaration. So declare the function now. So I'll write here void, then sum, int comma int, and a semicolon. So sum is the name of my function and it will accept two integer values and it will return no value. Now let's write the main function and then we will write the function calling and function definition. So let's write void main, then curly brackets, and here I'll declare two variables, int a comma b, then I'll write printf, then enter two numbers and then a backward slash n. Okay, then scanf and store it at the address of d. So you have to write the control string here and then store it at the address of a comma at the address of b. Okay, so now I have two values entered into my variable a and variable b. Now I will pass these values to the function definition where we will add them up and show user the result. And to pass those values you have to write the function calling. So to call a function I will write the function name, that is sum, then in brackets I have to write the parameters without using the data type. So I will write a comma b and a semicolon. Now a function is called. So when this statement is executed, the flow will go to the function definition of some function. Now let's write the definition. Okay, I will write the definition after the main function. I'll write here void sum int x comma int y. Okay, then curly brackets. Here my function will accept two values and you can see that the function calling is sending two integer values a and b. Here the value of variable a will be given to the variable x and the value of variable b will be given to the variable y. Now you can use x and y in your function to add. Please note you cannot use variable a and variable b in this sum function because they are the local variables of main function and cannot be used outside the main function. Similar way, variable x and variable y are also the local variables of sum function, so you cannot use them outside of sum function. Their scope is limited to the function where they have declared. So x and y variables are accessible in this sum function, whereas the variable a and variable b is only accessible in the main function. To access these values outside, I have passed these variables from the calling function to the definition. So value of a is given to x and value of b is given to y. We have to write the definitions. So here I'll write int sum and then sum is equals to x plus y, and then I'll write printf, then sum is percentage d and backward slash n comma sum and a semicolon. Okay, so the added value will be visible to user. Now the function definition has been ended, so the flow will go back to the section from where it is called. Now the flow will be back at main function after the function calling. Now our program is finished and we just have to hold the screen. So for that we just have to write here get ch. Okay, so let's see about the flow. The flow will include the header files and then it will check that a sum function is declared That means we are going to use some function to the program. Then the flow will come to the main. Then two variables a and b will be declared. User will be asked to enter two values, and here the values will be stored into the address of a and address of b. Then the flow will call the function and pass the value of a and b to the function. So the flow will will go to this point where the value of a is given to x and b is given to y. Then some variable will be declared and the values of x and y will be added up and stored into the sum variable. Then sum is printed on the screen and the function is ended, so the flow will come back to this point, and then getch will hold the screen and your program will be terminated. So now you are ready with your program. So let's save it and run the program. Okay, here we have to enter two values, so give it two values, 10 and 20. Here you can see we are getting the summation, and you have noticed that I have written function declaration and function definition both. It is because my definition is after the main function and not after the header files. So you just move the definition to the upper part and you are done. Then you don't need to write the declaration of the function. So do it by your own. That will be your homework. Try it at your machine and do let me know whether your program worked or not. That's all for this video. I'll see you in the next video class. Thank you.